In this tutorial, we are going to take the textures that we created in the previous tutorials, create a shader, and apply them to a couple of simple objects. So first of all, we need our objects. So we're going to just create two boxes. And we'll just go in and alter their parameters just to make sure that they are the same size. So we'll just make them 50 cubed. 50, 50, 50 on that one. And 50, 50, 50 on this one. Here's our two objects. Now we'll go to our material editor and we will have this shader here we will call metal. And we'll open up our maps. Now in the diffuse we want to add a bitmap and we're going to change that to diffuse there. Now when you load in a PSD, it'll ask if you want to use an individual layer from that PSD, like here, or a collapsed view of all the layers. So in these cases we're going to use collapsed layers. So press OK on the PSD there. Then we want to go to the specular level and we want bitmap, and we'll get the specular.psd, open that, make sure it's collapsed, and go back to the parent. Now we also want to put this texture into the glossiness slot, so we just drag it over and click on copy. Next we want to create our bump map, so we click on the space there at bump map and we want to make a normal bump, and in the normal slot we're going to put a bitmap and we're going to put normal in there. Collapsed layers, okay. Now because this is metal, we're going to add a slight reflection map to it. So with the strength at 60, we're going to open up there and we're going to create a mask material. Now in the map, we're going to make a ray trace material in the map. Leave everything as it is, go back to the parent. In the mask, we're going to use a bitmap and we're going to use the specular. Load that in there. And what this will do is all the high levels in the specular map, like the white and the bright areas, will reflect a background more than the dark areas. So we're on collapsed layers, so we'll press OK there. Go back to the parent. And we must also remember to set that so that it becomes viewable in the viewport. So we go over to our second one. We're going to call this one wood. Open up the maps. And in our diffuse, we're going to put crate_d. Okay. In our specular level, we're going to load a bitmap which is going to be crate underscore S. Okay. And then we're going to click and drag this into the glossiness. And the bump, which we'll set to 50. We want a normal bump with the normal bitmap in there, and we're going to put crate underscore N, which is the normal map, in that slot. Go back to the parent, make sure we've got visible in viewport switched on. Now we'll select one of the boxes and we'll assign the material to that selection. There's our metal crate. We'll select the other box, select our wood texture, assign to selection, and there's our wooden crate. Now there's no lights in this scene yet, so you won't be able to see how the light affects anything yet. So we'll just open up all our views, and we're going to put in there standard light target spot, and we're going to point the light in this direction here. Now we're going to spin around here. And we're also just going to switch on our save frames as well. Here we are. Now the light is pointing from the bottom right into the center, and we are on the top right looking in this way. Now you can see that the light is bouncing from in front of us against the boxes and then towards the viewport where we are viewing it from. So as you can see, if I move the light up, it's going to affect where it hits the box. So if I render that, you just see that the light is catching it on this side here. I'll just move it in, move it out a little bit towards there. You can see you're getting more of the light affecting the front face of that object. We'll just rotate this one around a little bit. And you can see it affecting it there. We're going to go to render ambient, and we're going to put the ambient up just a little bit and render again. So now you can see that the wood is not shiny or reflective at all, and the screws are reflecting the light coming from this angle here. You can see the paint sticking out here, and on the metal one you can see the metal reflecting the light from over here, and you can also see the bumps on the front of the paint there. You can see that the green one is got a better specular level than the yellow, because we wanted it to be left flat and the white to be left flat. And you can see all the layers underneath with slight shadowing caused by the normal map. Now, this is just a brief view of it, so in the next tutorial we're going to load in another project that I've created so that you can get a better view of the shaders.